Hi, everyone, and welcome. Thanks for joining us for today's webinar. If you're with us today, you know that loyalty programs are a critical tool in helping to build customer engagement. But the challenge of any loyalty program is keeping customers engaged. So you might have a loyalty strategy in place already, and that's great, but you might need something to increase some of your KPIs, and this is going to be very useful information for you. A lot of brands today are turning to loyalty amplifiers, which offer incentives for consumers to take specific action. So this might be the chance to win something in exchange for joining our loyalty program, or it could be trivia or gamification to help with onboarding education. Um, at the end of the day, these amplifiers are a tried and true way to boost engagement, but we're going to walk through some examples of some different brands using these amplifiers in very fresh and creative ways as parts of their loyalty programs. And we're also going to share some findings from 2 recent consumer data studies along the way. So before we jump in, I just wanted to take a moment to introduce EBO and our speakers today. EBO is an end-to-end loyalty company that works with major brands to drive repeat customer engagement. So premium loyalty, point-based loyalty programs, rebate programs. But what makes us a little bit different is that we also have the capabilities to help your brand amplify your loyalty program with a variety of different engagement solutions. Everything from sweepstakes to contests to trivia, all different types of loyalty amplifiers to drive specific behaviors within your loyalty program. So we don't just run and build loyalty programs, we also help brands with things like member acquisition, onboarding, education, all the way to brand advocacy and so on. And we can configure these solutions to meet specific loyalty objectives. My name is Paul Wolfer, and I'm the Senior Manager of B2B Marketing at EBO. I've been in the loyalty space for a little over 6 years, and a big part of my job is research and providing educational content about what's happening in our space. And joining me today is Kori Dahlberg. She is our Senior Product Marketing Manager here at EBO, and she's been in the loyalty space going on 7 years. And before this role, she was actually responsible for architecting many of the programs that we've launched with brands. So here's a quick rundown of what we're going to go over today. So we'll start with a quick state of the state, but the main thing we want to focus on is just really these creative examples of loyalty amplifiers in use. And we're going to look at amplifiers from 5 well-known brands. So we'll go through their objectives, how they work, and what makes them really special. And then we'll end with a QA. And just a quick note on the QA, please feel free to just enter in any questions you might have throughout the presentation, and then we'll spend some time talking through them at the end. And just a reminder, this webinar will be recorded and sent to you afterwards, along with our 2 most recent data studies, so look for those in your email. And with that, I'll kick it over to Kori to talk through some of the challenges we're seeing in the loyalty space.
Thanks, Paul. So to get started here, we'll level set. Most brands do have some form of a loyalty program, whether they're more familiar and traditional in nature through a points-based earning structure, all the way through programs that what we refer to as premium loyalty programs, where there's some sort of a fee-based get with exclusive benefits and things of that nature. But all in all, loyalty programs are a really important piece of the engagement puzzle. And with the early excitement of a new loyalty program, you can often see great return on program participation because there's a lot of excitement from consumers over having a new way to engage with the brand. But keeping those loyalty members engaged can become a challenge over time. Keep in mind that to consumers, many loyalty programs do feel similar in nature. And if only given the same earning actions and rewards, they can very likely lose interest. And frankly, in today's market, as we said, most loyalty programs, most brands do have loyalty programs. So they are becoming a dime a dozen, but that's because they do work. And to keep them working, brands really do need to consider ways that they can drive ongoing engagement and make their program essentially stand out from that crowded marketplace. And one great way to do this, as Paul had hinted at earlier, is through layering in loyalty amplifiers to help spark ongoing engagement through incentive-based tactics. In fact, we found that 90% of consumers agree that they are more likely to engage with a brand if offered incentivization. So loyalty amplifiers like sweepstakes, instant win games, UGC contests, and more can really drive loyalty program engagement objectives like increased acquisition, member education, sales, and advocacy, just to name a few there. And that's why we're going to show you some examples of how some brands are really taking a fresh creative approach with these more tried and true tactics to really engage their consumers in a unique way.
So now the good stuff. Now we'll dive into some of these examples. So first up is a really interesting one. It's 19 Crimes, who, if you're not familiar with their wine, I would highly recommend the Snoop Cali Red. So they have a really interesting loyalty program. It's called Infamous Insider Rewards. So they reward their members for a lot of different activities. It's not just purchase based. And how do I know this? Well, I actually am a member of this program. Like I mentioned, I really like the Snoop Cali Red wine. So so just going through kind of their program, you know, you get 150 points just for joining the program. And then when you join it, you know, you're prompted to do lots of different things in the dashboard. So for example, you can take a profile quiz and get a free custom t-shirt. They also have different polls and things like that where you answer questions and you get points. So, you know, points. I mean, points are obviously a part of most loyalty programs, and they're an important part. But one thing we know for sure from our new data study is that almost 3 out of 4 consumers feel like rewards feel unattainable. And basically that means, you know, it takes too many points to earn rewards, or it takes too long to earn rewards. And, you know, we know that's detrimental for program engagement. So that's where 19 Crimes really gets it right. They allow members to redeem smaller quantities of points for unique rewards rather than just simply, you know, offering big ticket items that take massive amounts of points to earn. So I think the important thing with this program is that there's a balance.
Yes, 19 Crimes certainly does have a lot of ways that they've given to their members as far as ways to earn points and then redeem as well. And I think one of the really unique rewards that sticks out to me about this program, Paul, is the wine label maker, where for a lower amount of points, Infamous Insiders can redeem those points to create a custom wine label. So I think that's a really cool move and product centric. And even cooler is that they really leaned into this function for a loyalty amplifier. So they leverage this wine label function within the platform that already exists, and they created the Partners in Wine sweepstakes to help drive further member acquisition and program participation. And it was just another way as well for them to showcase kind of the options that they have in catalog, you know, for some of those point burn type rewards as well. So what I really loved about this particular amplifier and the reason it worked, and I think in general why I love the 19 Crimes Infamous Insider Rewards program overall, is that it's very, very rich in brand equity. I don't know if everyone knows this or not, but essentially the 19 Crimes brand is based around the 19 crimes that could be punishable by transportation to Australia. And the brand really celebrates the convicts that were kind of turned colonists during that time in history to form the country of Australia as we know it today. So this program really was a creative use of the brand as well, leaning more into that story with the Partners in Wine naming convention. There was really an easy entry and product-centric point of entry, which was that members were to create a wine label and submit that to receive an entry into the sweepstakes. The sweepstakes in and of itself, the prize was a trip for 2 to Australia for 7 days. So that was very much, again, aligned with the brand in that way. And you know, we can't forget the celebrity that 19 Crimes has in their partnership with Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. And then, of course, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg's infamous friendship. They really leveraged that relationship to help promote this as well to drive participation. So all in all, a really strong amplifier that increased awareness of their loyalty program is overall and included kind of more adoption of that label maker activity within that platform, drove member acquisition because you needed to be an Infamous Insider Rewards member in order to receive entry or participate in the sweepstakes itself. And then again, just that layer of showcasing the wine label maker as a way to redeem a lower amount of points to be rewarded for your loyalty to the brand.
Thanks, Kori. So what is your favorite 19 Crimes wine?
You know, I'm right with you there with that Cali Red. Snoop, you can't go wrong with Snoop.
We're not endorsed by 19 Crimes, I swear, but
yeah, really disclaimer, right?
But going along with kind of leveraging brand equity is Victoria's Secret. So they also do a great job with this, and they ran a program called Secret Santa, which it does a great job of leveraging their brand equity. So we'll take a look at that. So they leveraged this instant win loyalty amplifier during the holiday season last year that would really help them acquire more loyalty members, but also drive sales and promote advocacy within existing members within the program. And this might not come as a surprise. And again, I'm all about the data points, but 3 out of 4 consumers would actually refer a loyalty program to friends and family in exchange for something. And it's not surprising. I mean, I think we all kind of can agree that the opinions of family and friends, we trust them. They mean a lot to us. So what better way to gain more members than by leveraging current members to get their friends and family involved?
Yes, and Victoria's Secret did just that with an instant win amplifier. They took a creative spin with what is a more traditional instant win, where Victoria's Secret they inspired their VIP loyalty members to play Secret Santa, where they had a chance to instantly win a gift card that could be gifted to then a friend. So it was a really cool, incentivized move, but then there was a referral aspect to that really helped to drive, some member acquisition as well. And since the prizes were limited, the aspiring Santas really had to act fast to get this reward. So there was a sense of urgency that I think drove that kind of immediate participation and lift for their program. And then when the recipients, the giftees, if you will, received their emails, they didn't know what the amount was. So there was a surprise reveal that showed them if they were showed them the dollar amount of the gift card that they were gifted, and the prizes ranged anywhere from $10 to $500. So really high value rewards as well. So when we think about just going back to those objectives with this amplifier, again, it's a great creative use of the brand. A different spin on what's more of kind of a traditional instant win with the referral aspect to it. Had a lot of relevance in terms of the seasonality of the program, and then that gift card redemption likely helped to drive incremental sales during a pretty important sales season for the brand as well. So sales, clear point of entry, and also inspired the advocacy with their member base as well with that referral move. So another really cool way that I think an amplifier was utilized to get some lift within the loyalty program.
Yeah, so kind of also following along on that referral point, Hilton is another great example of that. And so with Hilton, we're kind of getting away now from retail and actually just from just general consumers, because Hilton actually did this amplifier without everyday consumers in mind. And what they did with their Wow Maker campaign was they used this UGC campaign to really target travel agents and meeting planners. So again, just an example of maybe a vertical and an amplifier that is a little bit non-traditional, but they really wanted to recognize the fact that what these agents and planners do, they really can take just a regular mundane business trip from a chore to a fantastic experience. And Hilton really wanted to celebrate those people. So again, open to members of Hilton Honors, but this contest, it not only helped acquire new members, but it also really kind of engaged and deepened relationships with this specific customer group within the Hilton Honors loyalty program.
Yes, the UGC amplifier was used in a really great way here too, Paul. I agree. The the basis of this was really a contest structure, but it was focused on those event and travel planning professionals where they could nominate themselves or a colleague for creating a wow moment, which is considered a time that that individual went above and beyond to deliver an amazing experience for a client. So Hilton, within this contest, they picked 10 contest winners and rewarded them with an expense-paid trip to attend one of 5 professional conferences. And at those conferences, these event or travel planning professionals were able to learn more about how they can develop their own businesses. And then each nominator was also rewarded a Be My Guest certificate that was good for a one-night stay at a Hilton hotel. So they were driving the participants back to the hotel to experience the brand as well. So, I guess when we think about the objectives here, as well, we have, the member acquisition piece, to help drive awareness and participation within their loyalty program. Retention in a way where you have existing members, they're being engaged with a high value, high value contest prize, if you will, in order to really show how the brand supports these professionals in their industry. And I think the other piece here that speaks to me really is the fact that this amplifier was really leveraged to even more so target a specific audience or vertical as well, to be able to show more about what their loyalty program offers to travel and event planning professionals.
Yeah, and Kori, I think you hit on a really good point there, because I think a lot of times with loyalty programs, it's kind of they're kind of made like for one audience, and that's everybody. But the reality is that, I mean, every customer is not the same, and every brand has multiple segments within their customer base. So it's just interesting that they kind of chose this specific segment to really celebrate. I think that's really cool. So I think that's something that brands could consider more. How can we offer different things for different people? Maybe like tiered loyalty programs come to mind, or like different loyalty amplifiers for different customer groups. So yeah, just instead of thinking of everyone as the same customer, it's just an interesting call out that yes, different segments, everyone's different. So build different things and give people the option. So very interesting stuff.
Yep.
So speaking of different verticals, like you said before, so we're kind of going to go over to the QSR world now, and we're going to talk about McDonald's. And obviously, McDonald's is one of the most iconic brands in the world. And they have, I think, almost 40,000 stores all over the world, and everybody recognizes the Golden Arches. But the interesting thing about McDonald's is that they're a relative newcomer when it comes to loyalty programs. I think their My McDonald's Rewards just launched a couple of years ago. But either way, this is just a really great example of even how the most mega of brands can benefit from loyalty amplifiers. So we know one of the best ways to acquire more loyalty program members and get them engaging is by downloading your app. And we found from our research that most customers who belong to a loyalty program, if you offer them an incentive to do so, they will download your app and engage.
Yeah, so McDonald's, what was cool about this particular amplifier, another sweepstakes, but they leaned into the legend of a card that gave its holder free McDonald's anywhere and any time, where they created this gold card and essentially offered rewards member the opportunity to obtain a real card, a real gold card that gave them McDonald's for life there, as well as the chance to win 3 more that could be shared with family and friends. So very much appealing to the McDonald's enthusiasts and the most loyal in that sense. But what this did in terms of looking at the objectives of acquisition, app download, and kind of app adoption is simply you had to be a McDonald's rewards member to be able to download the app. And once you downloaded that app, you were offered the chance to win the gold card, as well as other type of deals, on some of their different food items and things like that. So it really tapped into the gold card lore, and showed their customers, hey, this does exist now, and you can actually have a chance to get one. It was very buzzworthy with regard to even that prize. So I think this one shows how important even and how creative you can get with your pricing with that particular incentive that you're trying to leverage in these kind of incentive structured type programs. And then they were taking the gold card a step further in terms of trying to promote further advocacy through offering more than just one to be won. So the whole idea that McDonald's tastes better when it's shared, the 4 cards for you and the crew was really a great spin on this as well.
Yeah, Kori, that's an interesting point.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. This just brings up an interesting point. We didn't include this in the webinar, but we did some research recently, and we found that one of the reasons why people don't participate in things like this is because they feel like they don't have they're not going to win something, like they don't really actually have a chance. So just what you said about giving away multiple cards and like multiple prizes, I think it just gives people more hope that they actually will win, which you would think would make them participate more. So
yeah, absolutely, that's a great point.
So our last example comes from Chipotle, another major brand in the QSR world, and they have similar objectives as far as member acquisition to McDonald's, but they also have some goals around re-engagement and awareness that they were hoping to achieve with their Buy the Dip game. So this past summer, Chipotle announced the launch of a new interactive game called Buy the Dip, and it was only open to, again, just rewards members. And in that game, Chipotle gave away more than $200,000 in free crypto to really promote the fact that they now accept digital currency in a partnership with a company called Flexa. So this announcement wasn't just for new members, but it was also a great way to get existing members re-engaging.
It certainly was. The interactive game experience really gave Chipotle Rewards members an exciting chance to win, right? And the pricing was also, exciting and enticing with the crypto spin, as well as the opportunity to win 1 cent guacamole or 1 cent queso. And since you had to be a rewards member to participate, the game started with actually logging into your Chipotle Rewards account. And if you didn't already have an account, obviously you were prompted to create an account, which obviously pulled in that member acquisition aspect as well as existing member engagement. And the game itself was super cool. Once you logged in and you had selected to participate in the game, you actually got a how to play video that showed you kind of the steps that you needed to take. So it was very clear and easy for the participants to understand out of the gate, to kind of show them how the game works. And the reveal, this was an instant win, obviously, but the reveal itself, they used really well. That's another thing that you can think of if you're leveraging something like an instant win amplifier for your audience, is creating a more unique type of interface that can spark excitement versus just going to the next screen and saying whether they won or not. There was a a stronger interactive element. And the chart, they had a chart in the game where it was like one of the crypto charts you see with the lines. The line was moving up and down, and then you would, as a player, you would click buy the dip, and then your prize would be revealed if you were a winner. And then if you did win a prize, you had the option to either claim it or then swap it out for a different prize. So they were really keeping the players' attention in terms of the interactive interface that the game presented itself. And I think that the other great layer of this was that they gave participants and they gave their membership multiple chances to win. So it wasn't a one and done thing. They could come back every single day, try to play the game up to 3 times to win one of these great prizes. So overall, I think this worked on a number of levels. One, as we keep saying, it was closed to membership. So there's always that re-engagement and member acquisition piece, that comes into play with leveraging these amplifiers. But looking at the way that they were able to creatively come up with a way to promote their partnership with Flexa and incorporating that crypto theme was a really, really cool move on their part. And I mean, it was just fun. It was a unique game interface, with the reveal on the crypto chart. And while that reveal didn't really have a bearing on whether a player could win or lose, it definitely provided an exciting branded element for that instant win reveal that gave players a sense of influence and essentially kept them coming back, for more and to re-engage throughout this sweepstakes period.
Thanks, Kori. So that's really what we have for today. And I think, at the end of the day, it's definitely tough out there in the loyalty space. But again, there are brands out there just doing some really cool stuff, getting really, really creative across multiple industries, and just really, really using these amplifiers in new and fresh ways to help overcome a lot of these challenges.
Yeah, ongoing loyalty program engagement, we know is tough. That's what we help brands solve for day in and day out. And we know that there needs to be some consideration about how you can layer in some further incentivization to help keep members' attention and how they can be used in really fun, brand-centric and exciting ways. And I hope that what you've seen through some of the examples that we've talked through and explored today, that the loyalty amplifiers are really an effective way to do this, and they can work to help achieve very specific loyalty objectives. And the sky's the limit essentially in terms of how you can spin these in a creative way to grab customers' attention, to inspire and achieve more engagement.
So as mentioned before, we did want to leave a few minutes to answer some questions, and we had some great ones come through. So we will get to as many as we can in the next little bit here, but for any we don't get to, we'll make sure to follow up after the webinar.
Okay, let's see here. So here's one. We're thinking about launching a loyalty program, and should we plan to offer both a loyalty program and loyalty amplifiers?
I'm happy to take that. Oh, sorry, go. You can take that one. Sorry, Kori.
You dig right in, Paul. Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I'll pepper in. I've got some thoughts too, so go right ahead.
Awesome, cool. So I would say it really depends on your goals. I think that loyalty amplifiers can definitely help in a really big way when launching a program in terms of just helping with member acquisition and onboarding. So this can be something like, maybe you have a sign up offer where joining the loyalty program gets you the chance to win something. So we can think about like a sweepstakes loyalty amplifier, or maybe signing up like with 19 crimes gets you points that you can use right away. Just like something somebody can use immediately upon sign up, where they don't have to wait to wait for that value. But I think at the end of the day, like, so, some brands decide like, hey, let's just launch it and see how it goes. And there's not anything wrong with that. I think a lot of brands that we see anyway, they'll either launch a pilot program or, they might launch a program and then 6 months down the road, they make changes to it, which is a good idea. And I think like Target is, I mean, obviously one of those mega brands, but when they relaunched Target Circle, I want to say they kind of tested that for a year before they fully rolled out all the changes and everything. And actually, even the other day, we saw that Shein, who is a massive e-commerce retailer, they launched a premium loyalty program back in October. And this week they announced that they're making some changes. They're offering more options as far as renewal. So like I mentioned, it's a premium loyalty program. So there's a cost to join that. So now they're offering like quarterly renewals in addition to annually, and they have some new features like exclusive benefits and discounts and things like that, like around Black Friday that I saw. So again, there's really not a right or wrong answer here. It's kind of just depending on goals. But I think at the end of the day, the important thing to remember is that if you want to keep pushing and keep evolving and reach new loyalty program KPIs over time, you really have to stay creative. And that can be, again, like launching with loyalty amplifiers, or that can be putting a program out there in the market and then adding in some amplifiers a few times a year, maybe like around holidays or special times of year, to kick up acquisition and retention and all that good stuff.
Yeah, excellent. Nothing more to add there, Paul. You took the thoughts out of my head there. Let's see. We have looking. I think my question reel is slow here. Here we go. What are some ways we can add loyalty amplifiers to the mix with when our premium tier members are already receiving top tier benefits? So I think here with a standalone, what's that?
Nothing.
Yeah. So I think with a standalone program, when you've got that, when you already have an existing membership base that's paying for top tier benefits, two goals can come to mind that can be a huge challenge are kind of that member acquisition and retention. So, I think we touched on this earlier in saying, the same benefits and same rewards can, in a way, even if they're being paid for, could potentially become, they could maybe lose a little interest of that membership, of your membership base. But I think you can think about loyalty amplifiers in ways to help achieve member acquisition, and then that retention is maybe there's a chance to win sweepstakes, that encourages more signups. You're offering, a exciting prize for that sign up. And then from a retention standpoint, you could offer, different engagement activity or engagement amplifiers like a trivia or some sort of gamified experience, or even, leveraging some sort of user generated content type sweepstakes or contests can really kind of add a more benefit and, bring, membership back into the fold to re-engage them in a way too.
Yeah, those are great points. I think the only thing I would add is, and we haven't really touched on it during this webinar, but all of these amplifiers, all these engagement points are also really, really great opportunities to collect zero-party data. So like if you give someone an offer to sign up and maybe once they're in, you do like some type of quiz or personality profile or just something like that, and you reward them for that. But it's also really, really good, a good way to kind of get a sense of their preferences, whether it's like products or communication preferences or things like that. And all that information can be, brought back into like better personalize the experience going forward and to make, program enhancements over time. So it's kind of a benefit to the members, but it's also like a huge benefit for brands just to be able to get that information. And especially like when you think about premium loyalty members, like these people are paying money to join your loyalty program. These are your best customers. So any information you can get from them directly is like gold, I think. So that's all I would add to that.
Let's see here. We still see a lot of signups in our loyalty program, but we've struggled with engagement. How can we get our loyalty members more active?
I know we definitely have some good stuff in the data studies about this that we'll send out. Well, I know. First of all, I mean, I think that's a question that we hear a lot. And to the person that asked that, you're definitely not alone.
Yeah.
And Kori, like you were saying before, and just throughout the webinar, I mean, people get really excited to join. There's a lot of excitement around loyalty program launches, or even just people joining for the first time. And then they're in the program, and unless you're kind of finding ways to constantly engage them, they can kind of drop off. Like in a premium loyalty program, I mean, they might cancel it. In a point-based free loyalty program, they might just not do anything. And I know that in the study, one of the studies, a lot of people said that rewards feel unattainable. And actually, I think I did talk about it a little bit when we were talking about 19 crimes. But yeah, they feel like it takes too long to earn rewards, and they require too many points. And when that happens, people just drop off. So I think there's a big opportunity to just give people options. And again, we kind of talked about that balance with 19 crimes, but 19 crimes, like, yes, they do offer bigger ticket rewards. I mean, they have like really cool, like, branded merchandise. And I know they have like Snoop, I keep talking about Snoop, but like Snoop headphones. They have, I think they have like 19 crimes, like mini, like wine fridges and stuff like that. So, those are obviously higher ticket rewards, but just getting creative and like, hey, maybe if and I don't know off the top of my head like what the redemption is for 19 crimes, but just kind of, speaking off the cuff here, like, okay, maybe it costs 500 points to get like a branded hoodie from any brand. It's a lot of points. I mean, you have to spend a lot of money over time to get that, but maybe the entry into a sweepstakes to win something like that only costs like 10 points or 25 points. So I think there's like again, about balance and about giving people options about how they want to engage. And then I think the other big one here is just really just user-generated content. I think some brands are doing a good job with this, but there's such a big opportunity. And I actually, there's one stat that I actually do remember the exact number because it was shocking to me. But it was the majority of consumers said that they're likely to provide some type of UGC. So like it might be like a testimonial or a review or something like that if they get an incentive. But and this is the number. It was 11% of them said that the brands that they shop with actually offer opportunities to submit user-generated content. So I mean, to me, that's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, a lot of what you were touching on there are kind of in catalog type things with what we see on 19 crimes and those types of examples. And then, obviously the amplification layer over top of it are these kind of mini programs overlaid on top of the existing loyalty program that can certainly help reach some of those same objectives as well. So yeah, all good stuff. When it comes to kind of keeping engagement strong, throughout the year with your membership base. One more question that just came in, and we've got, let's see, it says, is there a different name for these other than premium loyalty, or is all paid membership considered premium loyalty?
So we would consider any type of loyalty program that someone is paying to be a member of premium loyalty. It's so, I've heard that, I've heard the terms like paid loyalty, membership loyalty. When we say premium loyalty, like we're talking about all those things. It's generally, in a tiered situation. We would say premium tier is like the best that the brand has to offer for their best customers. So if you think of like CVS has they have Care Pass. They have like their points program that's been around for a long time, and then they introduced Care Pass, which is a premium tier. So I think it's I want to say it's like $5.99 a month, and members pay that fee, and then in exchange for that they get discounts on I believe like CVS branded products all the time. There's shipping perks they get. For pharmacy customers, they get 24/7 access to pharmacists to talk to. So there's a lot of different benefits. Or like another good example is Best Buy's premium loyalty program. So they have the, again, the points program, but then their premium tier, it's I think around $200 a year, and there's a whole bunch of benefits like tech support, like delivery. I think they have like extended warranty, so there's a lot of value. But yeah, so when someone is paying a membership fee for an enhanced loyalty program benefits, like we would call that premium loyalty. Hopefully that answers the question. But definitely feel free to reach out to us if you want to, talk about that more.
Yeah. Okay, well, that is all we have today here. We've run through some of the questions here, and certainly appreciate everyone taking the time, to join us today.
Absolutely, and just I know I've said it a bunch of times, but just as a reminder, we'll send out the recording of this webinar. We'll also send you out our 2 new data studies around incentives and loyalty amplifiers. So check your inbox for those. And if you ever want to chat more about amplifying your loyalty program, or even revamping or completely launching a new loyalty program, please reach out. We've been doing this for about 20 years, so we've been around a long time, and we'd love to talk to you. So have a great day.
Yep, thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.